Well, that rattled that piece of steel pretty good. How we doing today? I'm Buckskin Dave, and welcome back. It's a beautiful day out. I got a little fire going here, and got a pot of coffee, and I'm doing a little shooting. These are some of the 2F loads that I had loaded up, and I'm going to shoot them out. I'm going to start shooting now that I've got this thing shooting pretty accurate, and I know where it's hitting. I'm going to start doing most of my shooting offhand. So I'm going to try to build up my arms a little bit to hold steady. I'm just going to shoot at 25 yards because my arms don't know whether it's 25 yards or 100 yards. And I'll probably make more hits at 25 yards, so that'll boost my confidence a little. So anyway, I'm going to shoot a few here. I got a target up to catch the bullets. I'm not going to throw too much at the steel because I can't reuse the bullet usually after I do that. So that thing hit just about right where I was aiming on the steel, so stick around. Come on in the shop first, and we'll get a cup of coffee, and I'll show you one of the things I've been working on. Go ahead and grab you a cup of coffee. And I really don't have a lot to go by today. I'm waiting for some parts, and I got some projects working. But what I'm working on today, I don't know if any of you know this or not, or maybe you do, but I've over the years I've written quite a few articles for outdoor magazines, and I'm working on one right now on the methods of and the tools of the beaver trappers in that specific mountain man era between 1820 and 1840. And so I've been monkeying around with some of these traps, and it's kind of been a little interesting. I mean, today, you know, a lot of people use the conibears. They didn't come around till the late 50s, early 60s, which actually I was surprised that they're that new. But most people use them because they really revolutionized beaver trapping, especially. But if you still use your leg hold traps, like a lot of us do, you're really not trapping much different than they did in the 1800s. I start digging around in some of my old trap piles collections, and I cleaned off of this one pan. I don't know if the camera is going to do anything for you because it's still barely readable. But I did some work on the pan, and maybe if it stays focused, you might be able to read some. Anyway, this pan, this is a long spring trap. It's kind of old, but rusty doesn't make it old. This one has a pan on it, and it's marked Hawley and Norton. It's a number 3, and it has Oneida Community. And so I looked them up, and what I found is the Hawley Norton trap around the late 1800s, like the 1880s, the late 1880s, went from being the Hawley Norton trap, and that's when they kind of went into the Victors. That's where that word Victor came from. And a lot of you probably remember traps like the Newhouse, and then you got Newhouse Victor. They all kind of rolled out of the same place. But without exposing too much in the article, the history of this is there was a fella who started a commune in Oneida area of New York, and it was called the Oneida Community. And when he moved down there, they started making these traps. Sewell Newhouse was 17, 18, 20 years old, or somewhere in that. He was born in 1806, and he made his first trap when he was 17, and then for about 20 years he made traps for local trappers and stuff. And he was born in New England somewhere. I don't remember where. Anyway, he went down to this Oneida Community and started making traps for this fella that started came this Hawley Norton type trap. So probably some of the traps that the mountain men used might have been made by Newhouse. probably the majority of them before this era of time were probably made by the blacksmith of the town where they came from. But anyway, a lot of them were hand forged. This one here has some forged parts on it. The base is forged. The nuts that hold this little apparatus here, this little thing here that holds the jaws, is bolted onto the base of the trap, and those nuts are hand forged. This base plate was hand forged. These parts that are put together, heated, and kind of mashed up like a rivet. So anyway, this particular trap, I don't know how old it is. One of the interesting things too is this one has, you can see the lap link here is, or this link is kind of a hand forged link. It's a piece of flat metal and it's been around. However, this part here that it's attached to is not, I doubt is hand forged. It looks like it has some machine marks on it. I got another one that's kind of a little bit different. This one here doesn't work. It has the same Oneida pan on it. It would be a bit smaller trap, and it's a single, at least it's a single spring, and it has this apparatus on the one side, and then on the other side you recognize this is how a lot of traps are put together now. And this one has little forged nubbles on the end to keep them from coming out. So anyway, where I was going with that was this one not only has the forged link, which is more rounded. This would be a newer link, this round one. And then this thing here that's put on is forged. And then I got another one that's even a little older than that. This one also has a round link, but it's hand forged. And then here's this one's not only forged, but the rust has really worked it over. And again, it has this, I don't know what this is called, but it has this little apparatus. This one here does not appear to be made by a machine. It appears to have been forged. So this might be a little bit older trap. And then here's another one that I dug up. This one here is the same, has the same markings on the pan, but it does have that newer part here that was replaced, but it still has, this one still has a hand forged link here, and it's square metal. And then the chain is made out of flat metal. Each link is flat metal, and you can see how it's put together. You put it through this hole, fold it over, and then you get the next one, put it through this hole. So you make a bunch of these, and then you can make a chain. And these traps had, well, these ones had about, what, 1.5 foot chain on them. Anyway, it's just been kind of interesting. And one other thing that's kind of neat is this trap here had a broken spring on it. And here's the pieces. They did make the trap, where's my pointer? They did make the trap. The spring's a little different. The one that I put on there is a little different than this. The one I put on has the same size holes in both places. But the original springs had a smaller hole on the bottom, and that would keep it from going up and down on the jaws. It would stay below that little apparatus that we were talking about. And then this one would be on the jaws, and this would be the one that actually opened to close the jaws. So it's kind of interesting. And these pieces of scrap, they're kind of cool because you can make all kinds of things out of them. These will probably turn out to be patch knives. You got the thing for, you know, and then you can shape a little blade, or there's all kinds of little things you can make with these pieces of steel. And that was one of the things too that was interesting in the research that I did. Some of the stuff that they made for traps, or they made, well, one of the things I remember, some of the hand scrapers they had, you know, for scraping hides. One of them was made out of an old bedpost, and you could see the top of the bedpost. That made a good thing for your palm to push the scraper. Some of them were flattened out gun barrels. They were flattened out on the end, and they put the little teeth lick things on that they made scrapers. Nothing went to waste. If there was an old piece of steel laying around, it was made into something else that was needed at the time, which I think is really cool. So anyway, I'm fiddling around with these. I want to go shoot a little bit more. Stick around and shoot with me, and have yourself a cup of coffee. Let's have a little fun. Come here, get over there. Come on. Oh yeah, I'm sitting here trying to have a peaceful cup of coffee, and these bad guys keep sneaking up on me. So, but we have the tool to take care of them. This, one of the things I like to make sure is always like to check my muzzle and make sure there's some grease on it. And that lets me know that the bullet had enough grease on it to make it all the way down and out the barrel. The last one was 2 inches off center, a little less than 2 inches off center, 4 o'clock. So for an offhand shot, I'll take that. It was registering at 20, I think 22. All the rings have numbers on them on that C-sharps deal. 25 is the center, so the ring was a 22 ring. So it was just a little less than 2 inches off center. So let's try it again. Another bad guy trying to slip up and ruin my coffee break. Well, it looks like it's in that black. I can't see it when it's in the black, but I don't see it in the white, so it's right in that black circle, and that circle is 5.5 inches. I'm going to break my rule here. I said I was going to shoot them all offhand, but the first one that I'm going to take at that 100-yard gong, let's see what our hold is. Then we'll shoot some offhand. I like this Caldwell bag, this tack driver. I think they call it something else now, but they still make it. I've got a couple of them. I keep one in my hunting truck. What I like is, I mean, you could throw this on a wood pile of rounds, you know, cut rounds, and wiggle it around and use it as a good rest. It's a really, really good firm rest for a rifle. So we're going to use it for our first shot to see what it comes out to be. Okay. Huh. I'm not sure if it went high or low. Give it another try. Most likely it went a little low. There we go. I was right, it went a little low. So aiming that one a little high. Put it in the orange dot. All right, let's try another shot. All right, Let's see what happened. Nice. That's a pretty good group. It went right on top of the last one. Not much, just a little. And I probably pulled it off. So, got a surprise for you. We'll let that sit there for now. What will be a day shooting, and I know you guys spied this when I came over here, and not throwing a little bit of lead down the old gemmer. Why not? Let's try a 25 yarder. And actually, that's a little further than 25 yards. But let's see how it does on that paper. This would be a 520 grain 45 caliber bullet, 20-to-1 mix. Oh, a little bit low. Let's see if I can do better. We do like this rifle. There we go. That one's in the black. Anyway, that one target we were shooting at wasn't really a bad target since it was all offhand. These two I took with the gemmer, using the same aiming point. They were shooting a little low, and I didn't have the sight adjusted. But the 50 offhand, 1, 2, 3. The 3 shots we took it offhand, they were, you know, it's not a real tight group. This circle's 5.5 inches, so, you know, it's not a real tight group, but it's offhand, okay? Okay, get back to the offhand idea and see how that works. All right, that's what we have to practice. Offhand. All right. I sure do like this rifle. Nice. Well, I'm going to go ahead and continue shooting. One of the next things we're going to do now that I got this shooting on, this action actually has a serial number on the tang because it's an Italian action. It's a new action. It actually had a serial number on it. But all of my rifles, I do them like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So this will be of these type of rifles will be number 11, and so I'll stamp that on there also as my own personal serial number. And then we're going to rust this barrel in action and the lever, and then this gun will be done, and it will be accurate, and we'll have a load for it, and it's going to be fun to play with. So stick around. It's a project that we have coming, and might be fun for you guys to watch, but as always, the coffee's always on. So you guys have a great day. I'm Buckskin Dave. I hope you enjoyed our time together. If anything, at least you enjoyed a cup of coffee. You guys take it easy, stay safe. See you next time. Bye-bye.